It's March 21st, 2023, and I'm going to read you a post that I wrote in 2017 on March 21st called Regifting. And Instagram message. The church bingo prizes were mostly an assortment of regifts. These girls didn't care. They were in it to win it. And it's a picture of my daughter and her two friends playing bingo at our church, in our church basement. So, regifting. Spring is here. I took a survey within my family to see what was the first thing that came to mind when they heard the word spring. My daughter and the hub both said flowers. My son said vacation. Yes, his mind went straight to spring break. What comes to my mind? Regifting. Long ago, there was a commercial on TV that advertised a body soap called Irish Spring. This commercial featured a guy taking a shower outside amidst flowers and greenery. He takes a big whiff of the green bar of soap and proclaims, in an Irish accent, that he feels as fresh as an Irish spring. Whether he meant a running body of water or one of the four seasons, I'm not sure, but thinking about the bar of soap takes me back to when I was in 5th grade. I wanted to give my dad something for Christmas, but I didn't have any money or time to shop for him. Instead, I went shopping in the house for something that I knew he'd like. Under his bathroom sink were about 10 boxes of Irish Spring. Back in the day, Costco was called the Price Club. I wrapped 3 of the bars of soap in Christmas wrapping paper and gave them to my dad. He was so happy when he opened the gift because that was the exact brand that he liked and used. I felt great. It wasn't until my mom was putting them away that they discovered that the 3 bars came from his own stock. Busted. You could say that was my first experience of regifting, although technically the bars of soap weren't mine to regift. Yada, yada, yada. One regift story leads to another. In this next one, my intention was good, but my execution was a mess. I had just gotten a new assistant who coincidentally was getting married to a very good friend of mine from high school. She was the cutest thing and a real go-getter who was very motivated. I wanted to make a good impression, so I took her out to lunch and gave her a welcome gift, which you may have guessed was a regift. When she opened up the gift completely, we both saw the gift tag that I had forgotten all about because it was shoved deep inside the box from when I first received it. Busted. I'm sure it took all of her effort to take me seriously after that, as I tried to give her info about our department and tell her how she could move up the ladder quickly if she just stuck with me. And it would be very remiss of me not to pass along this next regifting story because it's about assumptions and it proves the theory that I was indeed an ass. We have all received baby gifts or just gifts in general from loved ones that for some reason or another we would never use. Being a hoarder in my past life, I would hold on to these gifts and use for regifting. One evening we were invited as a family for dinner at a university football coach's house. The only info my hub gave me was that it was their first baby and they had just moved from out of state. Not having much time and or I wanted to get rid of some of the baby stuff that I was hoarding, I used really nice packaging to wrap up an awful clothing ensemble and a cheesy toy. The assumption was that they would be thrilled with the ugly outfit because it was their firstborn and they probably needed more than they had. Assumption number 2. Since I knew it was their first baby, I was thinking wardrobe presentation would not be top of the new mom's priority list. So I didn't really dress up or put on a bunch of makeup for the occasion. When the Garmin GPS device, that's when we used Garmin back in the day, device ended its route, we were parked in front of a huge, very swanky house in an upscale neighborhood. I asked my hub how a college coach could afford this house and location. Oh, he forgot to tell me that this coach was previously an NFL coach and he's loaded. Crap, minor details. We walked into a gorgeous house to meet the gorgeous new mom who told me that the reason the house was already completely unpacked and organized was because they hired people to do it all. And it was also good that the au pair from Germany was there to help with the baby. By the way, this was their first baby together. However, she had another daughter from a previous marriage. I wanted to nonchalantly throw my gifts in the garbage when she wasn't looking. We also brought a bottle of wine that was only 1.5 steps up from $2 Chuck. Because again, I assumed that this would be an upgrade for a coach who was just starting out. FYI, they had a wine cellar. The story ends with me writing a note to the gorgeous mom of two, asking her to disregard all the gifts, and later I dropped off something more appropriate. I'm so grateful that she's an awesome person with the best sense of humor. We still keep in touch. So, in a if you give a mouse a cookie kind of way, that's why spring makes me rethink of regifting. I have learned and evolved because of the many embarrassing regifting fiascos, and I think those incidents have shaped me into being a better giver, which leads me to a company that I have been pumped about because it makes regifting cool and super thoughtful. The Giving Keys. Last year I attended a luncheon, and as gifts we were given lovely bracelets that had real keys for charms made by this company. Each key charm had a different word imprinted on it. The caveat was not that we were not supposed to keep these bracelets. Instead, we were to read the word on the key, and if we knew someone who reminded us of the word, or we felt like someone needed a lift or something needed to be celebrated, etc., we were supposed to pass the bracelet along to someone who needed it more. Regifting at its finest. The company started in 2008 with a celebrity who encountered a young couple living inside a dumpster. The celebrity, who had already been making the key jewelry, hired the couple to help her since orders were more than she could handle. The couple was able to get out of poverty and lead better lives. The business model of the company continues to employ the homeless in hopes to help them transition out of poverty too. I thought this concept was thoughtful on so many levels. My plan is to buy some of these keys so that I can give them out as pinches and hope that people re-gift them. The word on the key that I received at that luncheon was inspire. I know the intention of the key was to be passed on to more than one other person, but when my cousin Pia passed away last April, I slipped it on her wrist before they buried her. I wanted her to know that she inspired me, and I didn't think anyone would mind if she kept it. The Giving Keys. I kept the packaging of the Inspire bracelet that I received and passed on to Pia because I knew one day I would want to pay it forward. Thoughtfully, the Giving Keys. Pinches.